Hello there, it's Jay here from Jay's Vintage Junk, and today I thought we would have a look at this thing. What we've got here, we've got a Sony C20 Betamax video cassette player. I got this off my mate Andy over on Vintage Electronics Repair. Now, I know that a mate of his basically dumped this on his doorstep and did a runner. And I don't think Andy was very interested in it, but I quite like messing about with some of the old Betamax stuff. And I do actually have, this is a Sony C20, I actually do have a Sony C30 machine in need of repair, which I got quite a few years ago. The only difference being, the C20 was basically the base model. The C30 was basically the same machine, only it had a remote control. And I believe there was also in the same series, I think it was a C35, which was the same machine with remote control, but I think also had stereo on it as well. Like I said, the C20 is the base model. Now, the story I got given is that this basically was in Andy's mate's storage shed, and it was there for at least 10 years. Now, it looks like it's not the driest of storage sheds because this thing's in a shocking state. I'd probably say this is probably beyond repair. It might be a good source of parts for my other machine. And what I thought we'd just do in this video is have a look at it and see. Like I said, I'm pretty sure this machine's beyond repair, just due to the fact that basically it's spent some time standing in water, at least on one side, I think at least on this side, and I don't think the machine will ever work as a machine again, but we can at least see if it's going to power up, if there is any signs of life in it. Like I said, there might be some parts I can actually use from this to get my C30 up and running. I think the fault with my C30 actually is in the power supply because it's completely dead. It did have a fault label on it when I got it that said dead, no power, so if this has got a functioning power supply in it, like I said, it is identical to the power supply in this between the C20 and the C30, so I might be able to just take the power supply out of it and use it in my other one. But we never know, we might be able to get it working. How rusty this thing actually was. It had one screw holding the case on when I got it, and when I tried to undo that screw it actually just crumbled to dust. So we'll get inside it and I'll let you have a look. We can get the lid off. I'll just show you the lid just to show you quite how bad this thing is. Because I have a feeling that it's been sat I mean, inside that side, it actually doesn't look too bad in there, does it? But if we turn it round, that's completely corroded. Like I said, I have a feeling it was sat up like that, and it was actually sat in water for some period of time. Fortunately, with it doing that, the electronics are on this side. That's the side I think that was sat in the water. The power supply is up here, and that looks like it's actually in quite good condition. As well as that, obviously the mechanical side of it, it's actually even got a tape in it. So the heads, I don't know, it might have killed the heads that, because basically when these things are laced up, they're laced up permanently round the drum. So it's had a tape sat in it for, like I said, at least 10 years plus. It could be even longer than that, so it might have done for the heads and what have you, but possibly the power supply. Like I said, if the power supply is good in it, then it's going to be used to me for the C30 that I've got. So I could possibly repair the power supply. I've never even looked at what the fault in that is yet, to be honest. It's just sat in one of my cubs. I do have other Betamax players. I've got a really nice Sony top loader. It's an early one though. I think it's from about '77. So it's huge, it's massive, it takes the whole desk and got big keys on the front of it, like I said, it's a top loader like that, so it does take a lot of room up. That's why I'd quite like to get one of these more compact front loaders up and working. Because I do have a massive stock of old, loads of old Betamax tapes that people have recorded over the years, and I've got given and found in skips and what have you, so it's nice to be able to play through some of them and see actually what they've got on them. because I could dig my big Sony out, but it does take a huge amount of room up. Like this, something this size I can find space for. Anyway, let's get on. Where shall we start? Let's start with the plug, because let's find the flat blade screwdriver so we can start with the plug. There we go. It's amazing that it has actually got a 13 amp plug on it. Oh dear. I don't know if I'm going to get them screws out or not. I don't know if you can make that out, but those are completely corroded. Let's see if we can get the screws to undo. I don't know if this is actually going to undo. No, the screw's completely gone. I'll tell you what we'll do. We'll connect the meter up and we'll see if we've got continuity between the pins of the plug and something in the actual VCR. We could perhaps go to one of the fuses or something, see if we've got a live. Just to prove, all I really wanted to do is prove that the fuse in there was okay. So provided we can get a connection between the two, that'll do the same job. So let's set that down to resistance. Right, we'll set the meter there. I don't know if you can see that or not. And what we'll do is we'll connect the alligator clip here onto the we'll start with the live. There we go. So that's on there, and we'll see if we can get let's go on the fuses. I think it's down. Is it down here? Let me just pull the unit around, see if we can see. I think the mains fuse is down here. Ah, is that the mains fuse there? I don't like we've got a. In fact, where's the mains wire come in? Let's trace the mains wire in and we can go off there, can't we? Well, there's the mains wire coming in. There's the neutral connected to there. Let's go on the other. Let's just make sure we've got continuity on the neutral, because that's easy to get to, you see. So we'll connect that onto there like that. And we'll go down onto the neutral there. Yeah, that's good. We'll go back onto the live. And let's see if we can find the other end of the live in here. It goes down to there. And it's got a bit of something round it, so you can't easily probe it. Bugger. Let's see if I can just see in there a bit easier. I don't have to start pulling all this thing apart. I just literally wanted to see whether I could safely power it up. Got anything there? No. 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 So either the fuse is blown or I'm not getting a. No. Just unplug this, see if we can get in there. No, so we've no no continuity between what should be the mains fuse, which is down here on the power supply, and the the plug, the fuse on the plug, and obviously we can't change the fuse in the plug because we can't get the plug open. So what we'll have to do is just chop that off, and we'll stick another plug on it. In fact, we'll chop that off and then we'll see if we can get continuity through to that fuse. We can't really do anything with a plug that's in that poor a state. Step that off. Right. Okay, let's have a strip that off. Strip that off. Yeah, this water's definitely got to that wiring. Let's turn the copper black in the neutral. Right, okay. Now we can connect that live up. Good and sound like that. Let's see if we can get continuity to one of them fuses now. There we go. We've got continuity to that fuse now. So yeah, the mains fuse in that plug had indeed gone. Now, could that be due to the damp? It's very likely, actually. It could be due to the damp that this thing's obviously had in it. Obviously, damp can get into the fuse and it'll corrode the little wire inside the fuse. So it might not be like the end of the world why that's blown, but we're not going to take too many risks, I don't think. Let's see what we can do to power this thing up. What I need is a spare plug or something that I can just whack on this thing, and in fact, just bear with me a sec. I'll just go and see if I can find my safe block, and we can use that. So back very shortly. Okay, I'm back, and I've got my safe block. I don't know if anyone has come across one of these before. It's quite a nifty little device, really. It's very handy for basically testing equipment that hasn't got a mains plug on it. So we've got a standard UK 13 amp mains plug. Obviously these would be fine for other countries, you just have a different mains plug on it. And basically what it does is we have 3 sprung contacts inside and a safety lid with a fuse. This has actually got 13 amp in it, but you could fuse that down right down to like 1 amp if you really wanted. It just depends what you're actually working on. And basically what you can do with this thing is you take your bare wires, you just push them underneath the spring clips like that. Now with the lid open, everything's perfectly safe. As soon as you shut the lid down, it energises the device. But it's completely safe, you know. You can't touch anything, you can't shock yourself. It's a lot safer than using bits of chop block like that, which is what I have done in the past. I suppose there's nothing wrong with that if you're careful. It's just this is it's a much more neat, more elegant solution, really. They are quite expensive. I acquired this through a previous employer of mine. So yeah, that's what we'll use to power the thing up. Like I said, we can connect the wire in like that. We can plug this in, and then when we're ready to give the VCR some power, all we need to do is shut that. Nice thing being, if anything, we start seeing some smoke or something, we can quickly disconnect it again like that. That's what I like about these. That's really what I like about these safe blocks. We're also, for this first power run, I'm going to do something else. Now, I don't know if anyone here knows about a series lamp limiter. I think in the US you call them a dim bulb tester a lot, or a dim bulb device. We're basically going to use something like that while we first power this up. I've got it here actually. We've got a lovely vintage probably 1970s there, Philips 100-watt light bulb, just in a little standard holder there. And I've just got 2 wires connected to it. I use this for a lot of things. We just have 2 wires connected to it. With a couple of croc clips on the end. And what I'm going to do, I'll stick that down on the desk there where you can see it. And that mains input fuse that we was looking at before to see if we got mains coming in, the mains fuse and the plug was okay. I'm actually going to pull that fuse out and I'm going to put that lamp across where that fuse was. So rather, if we've got a major fault in here, rather than blowing the fuse, basically that'll light up brightly. Just normally running, it should just run like with a dim glow. It's much better if you've got a clear lamp so you can actually see the filament in doing this, but unfortunately they're getting harder and harder to get. That's actually out of my bulb collection rather than a one that I normally use for things like this, but I can't get to them at the moment. In fact, let me just double check that it is a good bulb. I think that is a good one. But we will just double check before we start this trying to see if this thing will power up. Yeah, the bulb's fine. It has got continuity. Right, so what we will do, we'll pull out the mains fuse here. This is the primary mains fuse. So out that comes. And we'll connect the lamp across where that fuse goes, like that. I'll just reconnect this wire that I pulled off before. I think that's a sense wire for something, or a low voltage startup or something like that. Takes off a small winding off the transformer, but they're well connected on, they're not going to short or anything. So the whole point of this is that, like I say, if there is a major fault in this unit, like a dead short or something, rather than it blowing a load of fuses and us getting a big bang, that should just light up brightly and we can quickly pull the power back from there. Like I say, I don't know what this thing's going to do. I got it off-handed probably about 2 weeks ago and it's been sat in an airing cupboard since then, drying out, because when I got this thing it was literally wringing wet. It was absolutely sopping wet. It had been left outside overnight in a rainstorm, and like I said, it had also spent at least 10 years in a very damp environment before then. So like I said, our hope of actually getting this machine fully working is probably like slim to none, but let's see what will actually fire up on it, if anything, and we can take it from there anyway, can't we? So, I'm kicking my tripod. I don't think my cable's actually going to be quite long enough, so what I'm going to have to do, actually, I've unplugged that, my camera's going to go off. I'll have to put the safe block down on my knee, I think. Then I can plug in the, because unfortunately my safe block's not got a very long cable on it. There we go, that's the safe block energised. So, oops, I've got the safe block in my hand here. Shall we power it up and see what the thing does? This could be a full-on fire in the hole situation, but let's see. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Well, that was an anticlimax, nothing. No, it seems pretty dead. Okay, let's disconnect the power again and let's have a little bit of a look. So the safety light didn't come on. I suppose what we could do is we could see if we're getting anything coming out of the secondary. We can have a look on this fuse here, I think, and see if we've got anything coming out there. Fortunately for this unit is circuit diagrams are really easy to get for it. All the data and all the service data is available for this free online. There's actually a really good resource if you're into like Betamax videos online, and they've got all the service data and all the common faults that these C machines actually suffer from, which are a few as they get older, but they are pretty much tank machines. They are very, very good machines. Right, let's have a... Yeah, we've got a good contact between there on the fuse, so I don't think that's going to be the issue. And we was getting continuity on the bulb. So why aren't we getting anything... Let's see if we're getting any DC at all out of that power supply. I think probably the best way to do that, if we go on to chassis, we'll go on to 200 volts DC. It's not going to be anywhere near that. And we'll try powering it back up again, and we'll just have a quick probe around on the power supply here and see if we've actually got anything at all coming out, because that's one of the outputs. I think there's an output over there as well, and we'll see if we've got anything at all coming out of this out of the power supply. It could be that this has got a bad power supply unit in it, in which case we'll pull the power supply out, because it's quite modular, this. I think if we just take a few screws out there, we can lift the entire power supply out, and we can have a go at seeing if we can get that working. And once we've got that working, we can see what else on the machine works. But I'll just power it back up, and we'll just see if we can take a few voltage readings on the power supply now, see if at least any of the power supply is powering up. So we'll get that plugged back in, power that back up on there. So we've got no display, nothing's actually coming on the thing, but if we've got some voltage there. We've got, let's just go down there. Yeah, we've got 3.5 volts there. So the power supply is just about starting up, or at least doing something. Got nothing there. Yeah, we've got about 1.5 volts on that fuse there. Oh, hang on. Now we've got 7.5 volts there on that fuse, and we've got 3.5 volts on that fuse there. So the power supply is at least running to some extent, but what I suppose I'll have to do is dig the circuit diagram for this thing out and see what voltages I should actually have coming out of that power supply. But the thing is, the interesting thing is, nothing smoked. Nothing smoked at all on it. The dim bulb didn't light up very, very brightly, which is quite good. That means we haven't got like a major short, we haven't got a dead short in there or anything like that. In fact, I'm sort of pseudo tempted just to pull the dim bulb back out now as a final thing, stick the fuse back in, and just give it full mains and see what actually happens. I very much doubt anything else will happen, possibly blow a fuse, but I even doubt that. It's not a switch mode power supply, it is a good old fashioned linear power supply, and this with a proper transformer, and then just you've got a bridge rectifier in there and various smoothing. Multiple tap transformer. All these VCRs did use a multiple tap transformer. Yeah, let's just try that as a last thing. I'll just quickly disconnect the safe block, make life a bit easier to work around. So this wasn't going to be a full repair video on this machine or anything. It probably is completely beyond real repair, but it's just a bit of a look over it, and I might even dig out my C30 and we'll see if we can make one good machine out of the two. I'm not sure yet. So it's just seeing Andy was kind enough to think of me for this machine, because I'm sure most people would have thought instantly of a landfill, but there is still, even though as scrappy as it is, there's still valuable parts on this that you can't get. I mean, if the heads are good in it, which I'm a bit like that with, because like I say, it's had a tape threaded up round there for quite some time, that won't have done them any good, but there's parts in there which you basically can't get anymore, that may still be of use to me. And so I'll put that fuse back in. We'll just quickly connect it up. I don't think this is going to make any difference, but we can see. I'll turn the machine round. You can see how rusty the other side of it is, but let's see if this makes any difference. Nope. No, the machine is as dead as the as dead as they come. Like, it could have been a dead. I mean, I think Andy's mate said it was working when it was put away, but I mean, if it's that long ago, I mean, your mind does wander. It is completely dead. So I'm wondering if it was dead when it was retired and put away in the storage shed. It could even have the same power supply fault that the other one I've got. I don't know. But anyway, I'll show you the other side of it. Quite why, like I said, I'm saying this machine is just a basket case parts machine. You can already see. You can already see all the corrosion on the top here, but just tilt you down a little touch. I don't know if you can make that out. There's basically that entire side there. I think it's sat in water for a very, very long time. It's actually a testament to how solid these machines are, that it's actually still got metal there, but it is, all that entire side is basically completely corroded. I don't think I stand a chance of getting the screws out. There's a screw there to take that side panel off, and I just don't think they would even entertain coming out, to be honest. They're that corroded, they're that rusted. It's a shame, but like I said, if it means that another machine will live, then I don't suppose it's the end of the world. It does indeed look like that entire power supply is a sub-assembly. And if I take a couple of screws out, one there, one there, one there, take that panel out there, I suppose we could actually just pull that supply out, couldn't we? Yeah, let's have a look at taking this power supply out, and we can have a bit more of a look at it, can't we? I think we're gonna have to go down to small, tiny little screwdrivers for this bit, because these screws are only they're only small. So that's going to be too small. Try that one there. Ah, that fits perfect. Now, take the cable band off. There we go. So see if we can extract the power supply and have a look at it. So we can power that up on its own on the bench, I think, and see, make sure that that's actually working. If it is working, I would be tempted just to see if I can stick it in the other machine. Right, there we go. Come on, out you come. Right, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a quick photograph so I can remember Come on, you silly thing. There we go. Easiest way to remember where things go. Just take a quick picture with your phone. Put that out of the way. And then we can start disconnecting this wiring. That's one. That's two. Hopefully most of the wiring will actually stay reasonably where it was, so it's not too hard to put it all back together, to be honest. Just takes a little bit of common sense. There we go, that's all the wiring from the rest of the VCI disconnected. So that's disconnected. I think we've got a screw down here we need to take out. Which has started to undo. And we could get scuppered by screws which won't undo because of the rust issue, but so far we're not doing too bad. That one's going to undo. Come on, out you come. There we go, that's them out. Oh, it's just that panel. So we didn't really need to take that out, but it might make access a little bit easier. Right. I did have to take that out to be able to get to this, this sub-chassis out. These things were built to last. You can see that, you know, you worked on like one of the last of the VCIs, and everything's just moulded plastic. And then you look at one of these things and everything's metal sub-chassis. It really is amazing. Right, what else is holding it? I think right, what's holding you down now? The screw down there. Right, that's free. Take that one out. There's that part of the chassis free now. That feels a bit looser. And then down here. I'm surprised these screws are coming out as easy as they are. Right, now there's still something else holding that in. That seems to be free there. It might be that we have to let's have a look. This is unscrewing. Probably taken screws out I didn't need to actually take out then. I think we can just lift this like sub chassis out. By the look of it, I think we've got to take the transformer out separate. Get a bigger screwdriver, I think. Yeah. That's one. A lot of fluff and dust down in here. I think this machine was run for quite a few years before it was retired. Right, okay, that's the mains transformer free. I've just got one more connection, I think. One more screw, sorry, to undo, and I think we should be able to get the power supply section out. There we go. Hopefully, like I said, we can now remove the power supply section. Seems to be something still holding it though. I wonder what. There's a big heat sink at the bottom. Ah, there we go. There we go, hopefully that should be it. Keep your fingers crossed. There we go. There we are. That's the oops. That's the power supply section removed. Right, let me in fact, it's not too dirty in there. It's not too terrible. Some more screws for the heatsink there. I might take them out while I'm here. Then I can put the heatsink back on the power supply. There we go, out you come. That's the bottom of it. Right, we'll just stand up the rest of the video so it's out of the way. There's rust dropping out of it as I move it like that. In fact, let's bring my lamp up on top so we can illuminate the desk. There we go. And there is the power supply. Right. A little bit more advanced than I was first thinking it probably would be. We've got a few regulators on here. Oh, it's basically big switching transistors, which are going to be used for regulation. What have we got there? Can't read most of them actually where they are. That's a diode there. We've got our AC input on that side there. We can check them fuses for continuity while we've got it out. But let's just put the give this a quick clean off and get all the crud off it, and then we'll put the put this back on the bottom of the power supply, I think. Let's give that a quick blow off. That'll do. So that's how the I'm just putting basically the clamp back together for the heatsink. That goes back on there. These screws. Just go in there. And that. Slip in there like that. Not that it should make a major issue if we're just running this thing up as it is, because obviously, you know, like I said, we're not going to be putting a major load on it, just out on the bench like this. So it is absolutely covered in fluff and dust. I can't see anything majorly wrong with the power supply. So what I need to do really is find out what it should actually be giving out, and then we can find out what we should have on them fuses. I wonder if we just power it up like this and see what we've got on them fuses as a quick last thing. I expect one to be reasonably high voltage, you know, 30-ish volts, and the others to be fairly low voltage. Let's get it connected up and see. It's the easiest way of testing it. Like I said, we now know that we've not got anything in the actual video which is going to be pulling a voltage down or anything. And this is relatively safe to do because everything that we're going to be probing on is on the low voltage side of the power supply. In fact, these linear power supplies like this, rather than a switch mode power supply, are actually far safer really to work on like this, because all your mains voltages are isolated by the transformer there. Obviously you've still got to be careful, you do still have mains voltages around, you still have them on the other side of here on that mains fuse and things like that, but it is still a bit safer to work on than working on a live switch mode power supply. Right, anyway, we've got all that connected up, we'll power it up, and like I said, we're just going to have a quick probe round on these fuses and see what voltages we're getting off. I think we've got 7, 4.5 was it, and I don't think we tested down there. But I'd expect us to be perhaps possibly getting something like, you know, 12 volts or 5 volts and something around 30-ish volts. I will dig the circuit diagram out for this and actually confirm what voltage I should be getting out of the power supply. But let's just have a quick look for now anyway, and just have a quick see. So we power it up. We'll have a quick look on there. We've got nothing. Nothing on that. Nothing on there. That's odd. Perhaps it needs some load on it to actually start up. I wouldn't have thought if I had anything that sophisticated on it actually, unless I'm not getting a good ground. Let's try. We'll try going onto there for the ground. No. 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 Where else can we try for a good ground? Unfortunately, you can't get to the back of the two boards without actually stripping the power supply down some more, and I didn't really want to do that at the moment. In fact, let's just disconnect for a second. I wonder if we can get it off the bridge there. There's a plus there, that's AC, so that's the neg down there. Right, so that's on the negative of the bridge rectifier. You can't get much of a better ground than that really. So let's power it back up. have a quick check. Ah, there we go. Yeah, so we're getting 3.4 volts there. We're getting, oh hang on, so that might be our higher voltage DC actually. Let's go up one. Yeah, we've got 20 volts there, and then I think we was getting about 7 or 8 volts there. Yeah, 7.2 volts there. So it looks like we're getting our three DC voltages coming off that thing. So it looks like the power supply might amazingly actually be working. It's just basically the rest of the machine is pretty much dead. So what I'm going to do next is I'm going to pull the service manual for this thing and actually check what voltages this thing should be giving out. But it looks like the power supply is at least still alive. I'm tempted then to see if I can dig my C30 out of storage and just try transplanting the power supply out of this thing into there and actually see if that will make my C30 power up. If I can't, because it's quite well buried at the moment, if I can't get onto there, I might actually put the power supply back in this, and we'll do some more checks and see if we can actually get this thing to at least get the display on. Possibly even get it to the point where it can eject that tape, because it'd be kind of interesting to know what the hell's on that tape that's been sat in there for all them years. Anyway, I'm going to leave it there for now. I hope you enjoyed this little look at one very, very, very knackered Sony Betamax. So, hope you enjoyed that. Thanks for watching and goodbye.